I love that song so much. It's such a smoothie, jazzy song. Gets me in the mood to drink and to, you know, have good conversation. I don't know. It sets the tone for the whole stream. And I'm really proud of the fact that I put that thing to get, like, I know it's just a compilation of a bunch of people pouring drinks into various glasses. Can you sit? Can you sit? Is that possible? Can we go one show without Valentine trying to steal the spotlight? Is that possible for you? Or no? Is it too much to ask? I feel like it's too much to ask. Anyway, sorry. Complete side tangent because Kat really wants my attention. She's such an attention whore. She's really the reason you guys all come here, let's be honest, right? Of course she is. Of course she is. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Cocktail Hour, and on Cocktail Hour, we don't really have a set anything. I mean, it's kind of loosey-goosey, tangential, let's talk about whatever it is that anyone wants to talk about. Sometimes Poly shows up on time, well, actually very rarely he shows up on time. Sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. That's totally fine, it's not a big deal. He's got a busy life. I have a busy life. We should probably talk about maybe coming up with a better time that works better for him, because I do enjoy, you know, having a conversation with the man. It is probably one of my more favorite things to do during the week, because he's so thought-provoking in some of the things that he brings out. And then, of course, I absolutely love when he goes on a full-fledged poly rant. But anyway, enough of me heralding my co-host. He's not here right now, so he doesn't deserve any of the praise I'm giving him right now because he's late. Tonight, I am drinking a Captain and Diet Coke, Captain Morgan Spiced Rum, and it is by far the better of the cocktails that I have the ability to mix right now, because I think all the mixers that I have are teas, apple juice, which I've never tried to make anything with apple juice, oat milk, which would go well with hot cocoa. It does go well with hot cocoa, but also like maybe some peppermint schnapps, which I do not have. I'm very limited in what I can make cocktail-wise at this juncture. I need more mixers is the thing, but I don't have enough fridge space for it, so I have to just kind of make do with what I have. And that, what I have, is Diet Coke. Can you lay down, dear? Is that within the realm of possibility? Okay, thank you. Sorry, she's very distracting. I'm trying to pay attention and maintain conversation, like conversational rhythm within my own head, but that becomes very difficult when there's like something not buzzing around because she's not a fly, but like essentially buzzing around in front of me, going to and fro. I know, Lion, yell not at the precious child. I don't know what I'm supposed to do otherwise. She doesn't listen to me anyway, so why bother? But anyway, Captain Morgan, Diet Coke, what are you guys drinking? That's the question. What are all of you guys drinking? Because I am up for a bunch of different cocktails. Like, if we wanted to share some ideas with the Weebs, she is currently in the process of putting together an entire cocktail recipe book. It's right, and by we, I mean me, in the first person, not the third person. It is right there. I think it's the brown recipe binder is the one that I'm using to compile all of my cocktail recipes at the moment. So I got a bunch of recipe cards in there, and I'm gonna put them all together. I have a few recipes that, like, I have to transpose them from where they came from or from my head onto a note card, put it in the slot, and then file it under the kind of cocktail that it is. And that gets a little complicated when you start mixing your alcohols too. So, you know, the Adios motherfucker is like 4 different types of alcohol plus the mixers. So it gets a little complicated, but I have to come up with a better way of organizing all of my drinks in my cocktail recipe book. But on top of that, the black one right underneath it is my holiday recipe book that I'm also organizing at the same time. I've gotten kind of in the kick of organizing things because I want things to be a certain way, and I want them to be put away in binders on a shelf so that I can just take them off the shelf whenever I want and flip open to wherever it is that I want. So currently, and I have way too many recipes that I need to transpose. I have all these Blue Apron recipes that I need to put onto the note cards and put into the big recipe binder, which is this humongous thing full of, it's already pretty full, but every other recipe that I have so far, that I have made that I do like, it's going in here. So I have a crap ton of things that need to go in here already, things that I need to cook, try out, see if I like them enough to put them in the recipe book, and then at some point what I'm going to do is go over to my grandmother's house and go through her recipe box to find the recipes that I very much adore from my youth, from her cooking for me and my cousins and my brother when we were younger, because my grandmother embraced the full Polish housewife tradition of stuffing your grandchildren until they were fat. And a lot of her recipes were so good, so good. For instance, she actually just came over this week on Thursday. It was her Christmas present from El Boyfriendo and myself to give her a, not that she needs it, but basically we gave her the gift of coming over to our house for a home-cooked meal, which she would thoroughly enjoy. Because, you know, you give presents to the people that they would want to receive. Not that you would want to receive, but that they would want to receive, or that they would find useful. Because it shows that you put a little bit of thought into the gift. And so her Christmas gift from us, because she's old. She's at that stage in her life where she's just giving her shit away to her grandchildren at this point. So she doesn't have a use for things so much, or money, or really anything except for person-to-person interpersonal experiences. Because she is so lonely, because she's alone, she likes to interact with people. And so that's what we gave her for Christmas, and I feel very good about that. So she came over on Thursday, and I had managed to finesse her beef stroganoff recipe from her recipe card via my aunt, who went over to her house and grabbed it for me and like sent me a screenshot of it. So I made my grandmother's, Nana Jones, beef stroganoff, and by gosh diddly, was it delicious. It was fantastic. As good as I remember it, probably not as good, but pure, just, nostalgia feels right there. So what I did is I invited her over, and I had my cousin, who lives in the same area as her, pick her up on the way to my house, so that it was not just me and my boyfriend, but also 3 of her grandchildren. So my cousin, his brother, me, and my boyfriend were all in attendance to entertain my grandmother. She really loved it, and I'm glad that I could do that for her. It's just something special, because it was something special. Because afterwards, after dinner, we had dessert, which was cheesecake and cookies, and she loved the cheesecake, which was totally store-bought. But after dessert, we went into the living room and we played Mario Party. We, all 4 of the grandchildren plus, or 3 of the grandchildren plus our boyfriend, we played Mario Party. Well, Nana just watched us, but she enjoys doing that. She just, she likes that kind of thing. So I'm glad that I could give her that experience, It makes me feel like I'm a good granddaughter. So, on top of that, what else have I been up to? What else have I been up to? Oh. I have a video in production as we speak. I cut down the raw footage all the way from 50 minutes to about 35 minutes. I'm a very long-winded person. I'm aware of that. I probably am going to cut down some of it a little bit more as the editing production process goes forth, but I aim to hopefully have it out either tomorrow late in the afternoon or early Tuesday. Because if I don't get it out by Tuesday, then some of the content will be irrelevant. A very small portion of it, but some of it will be irrelevant. But it's basically going to be, here's a life update, this is what's wrong with my face. So I did that video, it's in production, it'll be out hopefully Tuesday by the latest. And then on Wednesday, we have the anniversary Weebo stream. So I will be celebrating 6 years on this platform of creating content. 6 freaking years since I started this YouTube channel. And, I mean, it's not any super big deal. It's not like it's a 5-year anniversary or 10-year anniversary, but it's significant. And for the 6-year anniversary, I decided to make it a nostalgia project. Essentially, we will be reviewing some old Weebo videos and cringing together at Fetus Weebo. And with that, let me introduce you to Polydub, who has just shown up. Hi, Poly.
Hello.
It's good to have you. So we were just talking about content and things that I'm putting out in the February month. Super excited.
You're gonna review your own stuff?
Yeah, so I have my YouTube anniversary coming up. It's my 6th year on this platform on the 2nd of February. So I thought it would be cool if we went back through some of the older Weebo videos. So like, the diss tracks and some of the other ones that I thought were kind of like my funniest moments. Just to be silly about it. Because I didn't have a better idea. I didn't know what else to do. I've done roasts before. I wanted to be original. This was about as original as I can get, rehashing my old content.
Nice. Way to just openly admit, I don't have any ideas, so what I'm going to do
is recycle my ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I am unashamed to have admitted this.
Well, it's okay. You're mixing it with the complete lack of shame of doing your own anniversary.
Yeah. Wait, are you not supposed to do your own anniversary? Are you not supposed to celebrate things?
No, that was like a pokey fun. Are you wearing a bear suit?
No, this is a sweater. You've seen me wear this before. It's just like a... It's not a smoking jacket, but it's like...
Okay, now I see it. It looks like a bear suit that you haven't zipped up and put the head on yet.
It's not a bear suit, though. It's my Jedi robe.
Now you look like a Jedi. I was just about to say. That's great.
It's my Jedi robe. This was a gift from my aunt. It's super warm and fuzzy.
I'll bet it is.
It's like wearing a hug. It's good fun. Great good fun. Ooh.
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 Check your Streamlabs. I think the next 6 minutes donated to us like 2 hours early again. By the way.
Oh, hold on.
Thank you the next 6 minutes for the donation over on the Streamlabs. Let me just do that. Thank you for your patronage. He says, I've probably sent you and El Boyfriendo enough caffeine to last y'all a while. I hope you like the flavors I picked out. Give those girls a pat for me. I may adopt a new kitty in March. Feeling more ready now than I was in October. Have a good week. Yeah, that is exciting news, because, cats are, they're good people. They make you feel good. But what he's talking about is he sent me a whole bunch of shit in the mail. So, last week it was a whole bunch of coffee. This week, I don't know what it is. I hope it's nothing inappropriate that I can't share on stream. Not that he would, but it's happened before. Does everyone remember the average Joe? Because I do. He says, time is a good healer, so to help pass some of the time, here are some awesome coffees for you and El Boyfriendo to enjoy. What a good movie from 6. Okay. So, oh yes, he did send more coffee. And, oh gosh, my headphone just shocked me inside of my ear hole. Polly, make it stop! Oh god, that hurts so much. Okay, so we have, ooh, Kahlua French Vanilla Coffee. Non-alcoholic Kahlua French Vanilla Coffee. It made sure to let us know that it is non-alcoholic Kahlua.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a bag of no alcohol for you. Thanks.
Thanks. I mean, it works. Hey, babe. We have Kahlua French Vanilla Coffee.
Ooh. I want to drink.
You want to drink it? Because right now we're in the middle of a Colombian bean thing that you don't like. And we're almost
You're snorting
done.
cocaine?
No, we're not snorting
Scarface
cocaine.
drug lord?
I might.
You don't. Shush, face, you whore. But no, we're, so I had this coffee in the freezer that I needed to get rid of to make some space in the freezer because it was already open. It was from my dad and his girlfriend. They were going through all their shit and giving shit away that they didn't want to eat. Partially because I think some of it was past its eat-by date. Partially because they do this thing where they go on health kicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this time they were at the point where they were exclusively buying this one brand of coffee. And so they gave us this bag of coffee beans half used. So open and half used. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? And I'm like, put it in the freezer. It'll last longer. And I'm like, alright, fine. So it sat in my freezer for 6 months. And then finally I'm cleaning out the freezer a couple weeks ago. And I found it. I'm like, okay, I guess we just gotta use this because it's open. Might as well. So I ground it up in a food processor. By the way, that was not a fun experience. Because I don't have a coffee bean grinder. So
What?
the food processor was the next best thing. And it was
You
not...
have one now, though, right?
No, I don't. I get pre-ground coffee because I have a limited amount of... I have a limited amount of space in my kitchen, Polly.
But you're like a cookery person.
Yes, I am, and most of my cabinet space is taken up with other cooking utensils.
You can. You should. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you a picture of the one that I have. I got from Walmart, so it's readily available. So you need to go to Walmart. You can go to Walmart.com and have it sent to your domicile. There's a word I don't get to use very often.
Domicile.
I don't even know why I said that. I just woke up. My head's full of cobwebs. Leave me alone. It's fine. Moving on.
Good morning, Polly. Glad you
Hello.
can join us.
It's very slim, is the point. I think that it's made to take up a minimalist amount of counter space. And besides, even if it is that way, you should like slip that motherfucker like under the counter and like pull it out when necessary.
Okay.
Which would for me would be every day.
Well, the problem is that we buy pre-ground coffee anyway from the store.
Oh no.
Well, I know.
Weebo,
but...
let me present you with a thought experiment.
Okay. Yes.
Would you pre-crack your eggs?
No. But people do. They have like boxed
And they're wrong.
egg.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know they do. They have a small carton of egg whites and whatnot. You can buy what do they call beaters or whatever the fuck. They're just like pre-whipped egg soup.
Yeah.
Just to pour in the pan.
It's It's more
And it-
liquefied egg.
Which is why when you go to Denny's, you should not order scrambled eggs because that's what you're going to get. If you go to Denny's and you're ordering eggs, order like sunny side up or over easy because then they got to use real eggs.
Oh,
There's a
don't
little
let El
inside.
Boyfriendo hear you say that.
Well, he probably didn't, right? Like, he'll not be
No,
broadcasting.
no. Like, don't talk shit about Denny's to El Boyfriendo. He will not forgive you.
Who talks shit? I said here's a way to get fresh eggs at Denny's. The only way to do it is to order eggs where they actually have to show you the yolk. Otherwise, if you order scrambled, or an omelet of some kind.
Okay.
That's coming out of a carton that they're pouring into a pan.
Define pre-cracked eggs. Egg that you get from the store that is out of the shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or think about buying a dozen eggs and like cracking them all into a bowl and then putting some cling wrap over the top and then just leaving them there and taking them as necessary. Nobody would do that.
No. That sounds like so much extra work, and it doesn't sound like it would keep very well either if you just put saran wrap over the top of the bowl that you were cracking the eggs in. Like, but also they are packaged by nature individually to make it convenient for me to actually portion out eggs in the way that I want to. So why would I fucking pre-crack an egg? Coffee's not the same way, Polly.
No, it's a 1-to-1 analogy.
No, it's not.
Perfectly.
It really is not.
You found yourself in a corner you don't like. It's fine.
No, coffee beans, okay, are not individually proportioned to be adequately used by humans at a later point in time. All right, one coffee bean does not equal 1 cup of coffee.
What? I love how you just went like full weirdo theist argument on that. Chickens lay eggs for humans.
Yeah, that's why chickens lay eggs, duh.
I'm just having flashbacks to when, oh shit, what's his name? Kirk Cameron was sitting there with a guy who was arguing that the banana is grown the way that it is because it was shaped by God for the human hand, and it's.
Are you sure it was the human hand and not the human ass? Oh!
Considering it went up the ass of an atheist, I see the irony you're pointing at.
Yeah.
Hold on. But it's like, being a theist, I find some flaws in your logic, sir. This might not be the best example you could have used, jackass.
Indeed. But yeah, no, I would like to grind my coffee, but so far, like...
You know how I would sell you?
How would you sell me?
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that, I don't know, you were traveling and you ended up staying at my place, like, on your way somewhere else, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, well, I'm making coffee. I would grind the beans and I would go, here, smell that. And it wouldn't even need to, like, get under your nose. It would just merely need to get, like, within, like, you know, a couple yard radius of you, and you'd go, oh my God, he's right.
You know, normally when people go smell that, it's like with reference to chloroform, so...
No, if you hear me walking up behind you and you see a rag coming in front of your face, yeah, okay, get worried.
Yeah, okay.
But if you just heard a coffee grinder running and I'm walking towards you, like, you know, full vision, and you can see I got there's a little box that slides in the front of it, right? You pour the beans in the top of it. It's all very compact, is the one I'm talking about. It's got adjustable grind size. You're a French presser?
No, I have a programmable coffee maker because I set it to go off at like 4:30, which is another reason why I don't pre-grind my coffee, is because I do not have the time in the morning before work, like when I go into plant before work, to enjoy that kind of a luxury, unfortunately. If I worked from home perpetually, like for the rest of my life, then I could justify it. But because, like, the coffee maker starts at 4:30, and then we're out the door by 5.
Just explain to me justify.
Explain to you justify.
You could justify, like, even owning one, you mean?
Well, no, just in order to justify not pre-grinding my coffee, like not buying the pre-ground version of coffee, I would need to have that luxury of extra time in the morning. It's not just a space thing. It's also a timing thing and a convenience thing. That's one less thing that I have to do in the morning. If that makes sense.
So the only time you ever have coffee is in the morning?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you're on Discord in the morning, throughout the entire morning, working on code, this is the time when you need the luxury of speed because you're rushing out the door, but actually rushing to your computer chair.
Oh, hang on. I have only been working from home the month of January, and then previously every Wednesday. So when I'm working at the plant, then I'm in a rush. At the plant. So after
like
January,
Flintstone going down to the gravel pit.
Exactly. After January, I go to the plant maybe every day of the week instead of every day but Wednesday. I don't know what my schedule is going to look like going back to plant. It's all up to my boss, and it's all very temporary, but I will be in plant more often than not, working remotely going forward. So unfortunately, yeah, I won't have the luxury of just sitting, working on code, and drinking my coffee while I'm just ambient listening to Discord noises. It sucks.
I love my own voice being thought of as ambient Discord noise. Ouch.
Well,
Good
I mean,
God.
I can't pay attention and code at the same time all the time. Sometimes I have to tune everyone out.
Well, if Discord is any evidence of that. I don't think most Discord coders are paying attention either.
Exactly.
See what I did there?
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, hold on. I had a point here. What was it?
You
I was busy
did?
prodding you and I forgot.
Something about coffee beans.
Okay, yeah, you're still raw. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So, the Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
When you're not down at the plant for Ed Flintstone, working away, slaving away over the hot coating machine all day.
Mm-hmm.
What about then? You don't want the luxury of fresh ground French press on the weekend?
I could do that. I could see myself doing that.
I mean, we're talking like 20% of the time.
All right, send me your link. I will think about it.
You don't even. Okay, do you own a French press? I guess.
No, we don't own a French press either. It's just our
you should start
programmable coffee thing.
You should start there.
I know. I do like the French press, to be honest. When I lived with Dad, he had a French press, and that was how he made coffee. He'd press that thing like 6 times in the morning because we are a big coffee drinking family. My brother drinks it, my dad drinks it, his girlfriend drinks it, I drink it, our boyfriend will drink it. It's a whole like morning routine. If we don't get our coffee, it's a dangerous situation.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
If I go more than 24 hours without a cup of joe, I start getting the coffee migraine. The coffee withdrawal migraine.
Yeah. I also call it coffee withdrawal.
Isn't
because,
that fun?
it's a much better word than saying addiction constantly. Because it's not a caffeine addiction, Weebo. We're not addicts. Not at all.
Well, yeah, no, what defines an addict, Polly? Is it, like, the inability to function without the thing? Is it, though?
Yes. Without, like biologically, like, there's no real getting around it. I couldn't offer you an actual biological definition, but if you are going to suffer some form of malady or disability or consequence by not ingesting said item,
that counts as
that
an
you
addiction.
actually, then yeah. And that's us. I mean,
Okay.
Come on. We're so used to taking in caffeine that if we don't get it, we're going to get jitters and headaches.
It's just a headache.
Okay, yeah, let it go 2 days, and then 3, and then oh my God, you know, irritability and cobwebby headedness and whatnot.
It doesn't last beyond like 48 hours. I'll just get it, and then I'll be like.
Well, don't get me wrong. Caffeine addiction, as I understand it, again, not a doctor of that kind.
It's the baby of all of addictions.
Yeah, you get over it quite quickly, as I understand it.
It's like a hangover.
Yeah. It's a small addiction, like heroin or something. You know, just,
like heroin.
Yeah.
You just like,
make sure
if
2
you
3
don't
days
get
go by
your
and you're done.
fix, and you're dead. Dead.
Yeah.
Double dead. There are some people out there that if they don't get their fix, as we call it, they will like actually die due to the withdrawal symptoms, which to me was no, not caffeine, but like some addictions are such that the dependency becomes life-threatening if it's not fulfilled at a certain juncture, if it's severe enough.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and that to me, when I found out about that, was just mind-boggling, honestly. And I could barely wrap my head around it, because I could not think of being so dependent on something, except for, like, air. You know, I depend on air to live. If I don't get it, I die.
Yeah, well, It's a little out of your control.
Yeah, I can't really do much about that.
Well, yeah. Being a grad student, I have the two addictions that we are all, in a way,
and
obligated to
Adderall?
have.
Or
Nicotine
coffee?
and caffeine.
Oh. Coffee? Or nicotine and caffeine. Why nicotine?
Nicotine, caffeine, Klonopin, cocaine, what? What?
Well, why nicotine? Is it just because, like, grad students are famous for smoking?
Alcohol, opiates, what? What?
I thought all of those anti-smoking PSAs were doing the world some good. You know, I didn't know anyone that smoked, like, actual cigarettes that was my age until I went to college.
I'm taking that quote. That was just so delightfully naive. I didn't know anyone who had sex or wore a bikini until I went to college.
Okay, well, I didn't realize that I knew anyone who smoked that was my age until I went to college. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah, it sort of goes with the territory. I'm not saying you go to college, you have to smoke, but if you choose to.
College is a time for experimentation.
Yeah, I've never bought that one.
Really?
Yeah, that's a cheap excuse for drunken homosexuality and drug doing.
Well, no, think about it like this, right? So you live.
It's just I've heard girls say it. It's like, well, yeah, when I had my first like bisexual experience, it was at college because it's time for experimentation. It's like, don't justify it. If you found some girl sexy and you were drunk and y'all made out, why are you trying to blame it on college?
Well, no, that's
like,
not necessarily what I'm thinking.
What makes you think you wouldn't have made out with your friend when you were 20 if you weren't in college and you were flipping burgers instead at the time? I just never understood that. Like, college is a time for experimentation. Like,
well,
no, I think it's more the age and your proclivity. Like, if you decided to, then more power to you. That's fine. But don't blame it on your fucking dorm.
Well, no. I don't think that's necessarily what they're going for. It's a time of experimentation because you don't really have an identity outside of what your parents allow you to do until you're 18, right? So you go off to college and all of a sudden the leash has been released, the umbilical cord has been cut, your parents are no longer there to tell you, no, you can't do this, you have to be home by this bedtime. You
cannot sleep with your same-sex friend.
Exactly. You have
the leash has been cut.
You have more of the ability to embrace things that otherwise you wouldn't have been able to while living with your parents. So yes, it's time for experimentation of the things that were not opportunities for you previously, maybe. So that's the way that I look at it. It's not an excuse to fool around with the same sex or opposite sex all willy-nilly. It's the severing of the umbilical cord has released the kraken, essentially. It's released the horny.
Yes, I mean, I just ended up doing more of what I had done anyway. There was no, it was like, oh, I'm going to experiment. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's not the case for everyone, obviously, but, like, in a sexual way, but also you experiment with other things. Like, I didn't have a drink until third year of college, after I came home from Greece. Just because I didn't really feel like it. But then, you know, I had the opportunity to experiment with what alcohols I enjoyed. That's where I actually had my first Irish car bomb. At college.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
Not fun.
there was a number of, like, first drinks that I had at college, totally.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, grenade and et cetera, which is just a fancy version of a Jaeger bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a Jaeger bomb with an extra shot. Done in a confusing but fun way.
Wait. An Irish grenade?
No, just a grenade.
Oh, just a grenade. So it's a Jaeger bomb.
It's two shot glasses, but like they're the thinner ones that kind of bevel outwards.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have a full glass pint, whatever the fuck, of beer, and then two shot glasses. They will fit into the top of the glass and get sort of stuck there. And the idea is that one is whiskey, the other one is Jaeger, and then you pull out the You pull out the Jaeger, shoot it, and that causes the other shot glass to drop into it. Because if you pull out one of them, the other one's going to drop in, because they're both kind of wedged into the top. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you're pulling the pin on the grenade, hence the name.
Gotcha.
Right. So you pull out the Jaeger, shoot the Jaeger, and then pick up the beer, cheers, and then hold beer down that has just had a depth charge of whiskey into it. Because you can do that. Actually, it's not so much a Jaeger bomb as it is a flip on the idea of a depth charge, which is just dropping a shot glass of liquor into beer.
Yeah, no, that feels more like an Irish car bomb. The Jaeger bomb has to do specifically with dropping Jaeger into a Red Bull or an energy drink. So you're getting your high and your low at the exact same time.
And it's awesome.
Thank you, Polydub Sleep, for donating to the Streamlabs. Yo, Poly, where the fuck you at? N-word.
I'm trying to do a show, man. Quit, leave me alone.
Wait,
why
who
you never
wants
around
you?
when I need you? Why you...
He woke up specifically to do this show, ladies and gentlemen. You can have him back later.
Yeah. Snoopy says, sounds messy. Yes, it has resulted in fuck splash, like, you know, and then sometimes it just drops in there with nothing. It's weird. It just depends on how it lands in there. But yeah, damn messy at times. But who cares? It's such a... What's the word that I'm looking for here? I just woke up. Can't think. It's the pageantry of it or whatever. It's you're making a gadget out of a drink. Yeah, spectacle of it. Yeah, it's fucking fun. Because when they come to the table, there's always one or two people that didn't know that that's what you were ordering, and it's like,
Are you ready
do you
for
know
a
what I
thing?
mean? Like, they'll have, especially, you know, girls, like, you know, it's like, what the hell is this? Like, what do I do with this? And they think it's a display or a plating, you know, the way that something would be organized on a plate. It's like, and they'll like try and take both at the same time, and it's like, no, it's just one. Just pick one, and you want to go with the Jaeger first because shooting the whiskey will probably kill you.
Hey! I've done shots before. I resent the implication that I cannot hold my liquor.
No, I didn't mean you. I'm thinking
you.
to specific girls that I have known that were like, yeah. Oh, there's lots of guys I've known that cannot handle their liquor compared to women at all.
Oh god, that reminds me of the one time that the first and only time that I ever actually went out on purpose to a party. No, I'm sorry. One of two times. The only time, and it never actually happened, but the one time sophomore year of college that I wanted to go out to party, I didn't end up getting a chance to do it because my roommate, or dorm mate, I guess, my best friend from college, Balik. We've met Balik before. We know how insane he is. But he pre-gamed with a whole bunch of other sorority girls. And he'd ended up taking like 12 shots of vodka before he met with us to go to the party.
Oh, damn.
And he walked up to us holding his red Solo cup full of vodka and maybe some grenadine. Like a smidgen. And he ended up dropping it on the floor, going down to grab it, and smacking his face on the pavement. So we spent the rest of the night, which was a long-ass time, nursing him back to health, making sure he didn't, you know, have a concussion or alcohol poisoning, and getting him to throw up in a bucket and then cleaning up after it. And he woke up the next morning, he's like, wow, this is really clean for how I feel, because I feel like shit. And we're like, yeah, because we spent 5 hours nursing your happy ass back to health. And then, the funnier part is, and we have a whole video of, like, this experience. He was an absolute shit-faced drunk, and he was talking mad smack, but one of our friends came into the room to check up on him, see how he's doing, and he was, like, kind of passed out at this point, and that friend came up to him and gave him a big old 5-star right on his bare stomach, just to see if he'd be responsive, and he wasn't, but it showed. But yeah, he, oh gosh, Balik, I miss that boy. He's actually, about to graduate grad school. He's got an internship for his underwater archaeology career, and he's engaged, too.
No shit.
Yeah. We're very proud of the man.
Well done.
That's
well
my
done.
boy. Mm-hmm.
He fooled a girl. Well done. Well
Indeed.
done.
Yes, he did.
I remember one time when we were streaming, when he came in and dropped himself down on your bed behind you and doxed you. It was great. He walks in and goes, "Oh, Mildred, I don't know what I'm gonna do," and falls on the bed.
Wait, why is it Mildred?
I didn't mean to dox you, Weebo. I'm sorry.
I'd much rather get, like, I don't know, Sophia
yes, Chad.
or
Her real
something.
first name is Mildred. Fine. I let the cat out of the bag, but Balak did it first. It's not my fault.
Yeah. Other people definitely
All these
remember it.
girls who are ashamed of their old-timey names. I mean, it's like,
Old-timey.
yeah, Far's real first name is Gertrude. We call her Gertie, and she's all, "No, I don't like it because it sounds so like old English." I'm like, yeah, get over it. No one cares, Gertie.
Well, yeah. No, I made sure to fix that stream so that it wasn't doxing me, so that's...
I remember immediately after, because I didn't even sort of notice it, if you know what I mean, until like after the stream right
It's
away.
like,
You were
God
going into
damn
that.
it.
You're off into the editor, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "I'm just fixing it because Balak came in and just yelled out Mildred," and I'm like, "He did?"
Yeah, barely anyone noticed. I'm like, thanks, bruh. And that's not the only time he's done it either. Every time that he shows up on the actual stream, I think he actually accidentally messes up. Because he's not used to it. He doesn't have to...
Sure.
Yeah, so he doesn't think Weebo, he thinks Mildred when he sees me.
Sure.
That's why I got
Who
into
does
the
it?
habit of...
I mean, look at you. You're a
Referring.
Mildred.
yeah. I got
Mildred.
into... No, I got into the habit of referring to myself as Weebo, specifically because I didn't want to accidentally dox myself. Because I do refer to myself in the third person. Like,
So do I.
a
I'm
nut.
on AAA all the time. I've been Rudiger, and people are like, "Oh my God, Polly's real name is Rudiger." And it's like, yeah, and what's your point?
Indeed, yeah, true. Mhm.
Rudiger, Mildred, Gertie. We're not a name bunch. It's fine.
Indeed, we are. So, before we carry on, the sadistic atheist over in the Streamlabs donated to say, "How's the cold sore today? Teehee, #sarcasm. Here's the apology donation." Dude, don't worry about it. I think everyone else was a little bit salty about it compared to me. I didn't realize at first that you were being sarcastic, but yeah, now that I realize that you're being sarcastic, I appreciate the clarification. I just thought it was really weird because I'm like, this is it. Even my Twitter name is Scarface Jones. I specifically made it that way so that there wouldn't be any confusion. Ah! But yeah.
Here, I will replay it for the sake of streaminess.
Oh, that's right. I don't have your Streamlabs stuff. Oh, I do have your Streamlabs stuff. We did that. We did do that.
Bubble. Except you have no volume turned on for it. It's okay.
Wait, how do we do that? No, I think I do have volume. I just don't have volume for me.
Or I'm just... Oh, I know why I'm not hearing it, because I'm listening to you in...
Yeah. In Discord.
Discord. Okay,
Um,
next 6 minutes, thank you for the $2.42. Is it me? Or is it contemporary indie pop rock, or indie folk pop truly as annoying, shallow, and up its own ass as it sounds to be? I think about this often while I'm forced to listen to it.
Is you referring to Neil Young?
Does Neil Young count as indie pop rock?
I don't know exactly. Indie pop and rock are like three different genres of music.
Yeah, it's... You know what oh my God. I still haven't been able to discover... the hell was that? I'm hearing a knocking noise from outside. Hold on. You know when you hear a sound and you gotta pull your headphone off and be like, what the fuck is that?
Yes. Usually it's on boyfriend up.
Oh. Knocking on you?
Yeah. The fuck do you want? Well.
Yeah. Alright, well, I didn't hear it again. It's...
Well, if they
You look
really
like-
wanted your attention, they would ring your doorbell.
The damn right they would. And they don't answer my doorbell.
Exactly. There you go.
Because it's a bill collector or a cop or a Jehovah's Witness. I don't want to talk to any of those people.
Really? You get Jehovah's Witnesses? I've never seen
No,
one
I
in real
don't.
life.
I don't either. I'm just... And people talk about running into them all the time. It's never happened. I did run into a evangelical guy, though.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear that story? Okay, here it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
You know sayings, right? And I enjoy employing a whole bunch of them. How's it going? What's up? What's the deal?
Yeah.
What's a good word? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm in my car, leaned over, trying to, like, I'm at the fuse box, the fuse center for my car, so which is like under the steering wheel. So I got my driver's side door open and I'm leaned under, and this guy walks up wearing a suit, and he wasn't a Mormon or a Jehovah's Witness. He was a straight up evangelical walker arounder. Have you heard about God kind of guy?
Have you heard about Jesus?
Well, you know, so this is the thing, right? I'm under the fuse box. He walks up and he goes, "Hello," and I said, "Hey, it's a good word." He goes, "Well, I'm glad you asked that. He is risen." And I looked at him like, you. I kind of walked into that, huh? And he said, "You really did. You really, really did."
Oof. Can't come back from that one.
Yeah. It's like, he is risen. It's like, yeah, man, I've heard. It's, I'm a theist, but I don't want to show up at your weirdo church, okay? Leave me alone.
I'm just thinking about
Are you
all
frozen?
the
Or
times.
are we just...
No,
okay,
I'm just like contemplating all of the times that I've had to interact with super gung-ho Christians in my lifetime. Because, like, my mom is one. And so she used to take me and my brother to church with her every Sunday, some Wednesdays too, because on Wednesdays they had the support group for divorced children sessions and divorced parents too. But she would leave us with the youth group for that session, and so we went to church like sometimes 2 times a week. And I think the weirdest thing that I remember about attending church at these places that she would take us to is the worship sessions.
Mm-hmm.
They would get the other people would get so into it, like standing up. Well, obviously you stand up for worship sessions in like a typical church anyway, because you're singing along with hymns, but you're singing along to the hymns with the hymnal in front of you very clinically is the word that I would use, but it's not probably the best word for it, but it's very obligate. There we go. But at these churches, because they're the mega churches, the ones that are super hip and young, you'd read the song lyrics on the Megatron, or the mega screen.
Yes, Jumbo-Vision.
The Jumbotron. There we go. Oh God, I said Megatron. You would read the lyrics on the Jumbotron, and they wouldn't be traditional hymns. They would be rock Christian songs, and people would get so into it. They'd put their hands up, they'd close their eyes, they'd be like moving around, feeling the vibe. Spirit. And I get it, but even at concerts that are normal, that aren't super Jesus-y, that kind of makes me a little bit uncomfortable, because you're doing that in public. Usually when I rock out to a song, it's by myself, in my underwear, in my house, behind closed doors and blinds. No one can see me. It's not super awkward. So I don't know, it's just...
Maybe that's why they're closing their eyes, so they realize how awkward they
pretend
everyone else looks and so forth.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to get deep with it.
I get it, but also it's just, it was one of the things that kind of brought me out of any sincerity that I might have felt in the moment.
That's terrible. No, I mean, sincerely, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
like, their sincerity is the thing that turned me off.
Right? That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's many ways to go about it, and when you're watching other people's way of going about it, it pulls you out of it. That sucks. That's no good.
Yeah, no,
I remember you telling me like the kind of churches you went to, and it was like, yeah, I don't think I'd be cool there. That is, that's not cool.
But at the same time, I don't think that it's definitely better than standing at the hymnal, like with the old like 50-year-old dust-covered book, and the organ playing, And please turn to hymn number 487 in your hymnals, and we will begin. And then there's the intro, and the organ is playing and bleeding out, and everyone's just singing the refrain over and over again. The same. It's just... It's definitely better, but in some ways also worse. Yeah, no, it's just... Group worship is not my thing, unfortunately. Megatron for Cybertron donated to say, "Oh lordy lord, we transform and roll out in the name of Optimus, the Prime, and Cybertron." Oh wait, no, I gotta do this in my pasture voice. "Oh lordy lord, we transform and roll out in the name of the Optimus, the Prime, and the Cybertron. Let us pray." Okay, I'm sorry, that was...
Terrible.
That was loud. Was it terrible? Because you could do better?
Well, if you're trying to do, what, the Southern Baptist voice?
Yeah, I was going for the Southern Baptist.
No, not really.
Okay, I thought that was pretty
You know who's
par.
terrible at it is Michael Eric Dyson.
Really?
He's terrible at it. Oh, God. He's very unfortunately, a professor from Georgetown who's a crazy person. He's not actually crazy. He's a self-promoting, duplicitous scumbag is what he really is.
Oh, wow. Could you be any more endorsing of a person?
Yeah, well. If you don't know of him from his writings, you might remember him from... he was at the Hull debates with Jordan Peterson, and he called Jordan Peterson a mean old white man.
Oh, is he the one with the mutton chops?
Yeah, that was Dr. Michael Eric Dyson.
Okay.
He's a sociology professor at Georgetown, tenured. It's just what a sad commentary on that proud once proud institution. He's again self-promoting, duplicitous scumbag.
Oh.
It's like, I'm going to write a series of books where I explain different hip-hop artists' lyrics to you. And it's you read excerpts from them, and it's like, that's not what the guy meant at all. Like, talk about eisegetical reading, like reading your own meaning and intent into somebody else's words. Like, this is what this is actually supposed to... This is a deep metaphor for life in the inner city. And it's like, no, it's not. This guy who's like, he's old man really trying to do the down with the kids thing. Well, he's also a sociology professor, and it's like, so I'm like full-on academic credibility. While at the same time, I'm a Baptist pastor, and it's like, I get it. You're everything. You're all the things. As long as you're in front of an audience and people are listening to you with your cathedral-sized ego, gotcha. You fuck. I really well, he's a Marxist pinko scumbag. When you hear him talk about like political philosophy, is you enjoy all the fruits of capitalism. You wouldn't choose to live anywhere else but where you do, but never shut up about how the system is trying to crush you and oppress you and how awful it is. But there is nowhere else on earth that would have ever offered you the opportunities, would have offered you the station in life that you now enjoy, for you to be able to decry it. Looking at you, Ta-Nehisi Coates. Looking at you. Fucking whole list of fucking people are like that. You never want to be anywhere else other than here, and you fucking well know it. Because you wouldn't be able to get away with your shit anywhere else but here. Ta-Nehisi Coates, no other university in the world is going to fucking hire you to just shoot your mouth off the way you do and call it sociology. Sociology used to be a respectable field back in the fucking 50s. It's terrible.
Is this what you're talking about?
Monk debates, not Hall debates, thank you.
But this is the Michael Eric Dyson you were talking about?
That's it.
Alright, see, this is not who I thought you were talking about.
No?
This is who I thought you were talking about.
Oh, the Rent's Too Damn High guy. Yeah. From the Rent's Too Damn High party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this was who it was you were referencing. I'm like, I know exactly who... No, I don't. Because I had to look him up because I was curious. Because, yeah, no.
Or your boy Pat, you say, you're a Baptist, and it's like, hey, that's neither left nor right, my friend. It's, there's plenty of different kinds of Baptists. It's, plenty of different kinds of Baptists, man. He's a certain kind. He's not a Calvinist. He's a Southern Baptist where it's like, yeah, I got ordained at an online ordination mill, and so now I got a Bible and my own private interpretation of scripture. So let me rant about something and call it fucking righteous.
Thank you, the Lion Patriot, who donated over on the Streamlabs to say, at least your mom didn't take you to a serpent handling church. You mean like a Catholic church? Is that what you mean?
No, they don't do that at Catholic churches.
Well, serpent being little boy penis.
Oh, so you went for the really clever unused joke. Well done.
That was the only thing that I could think of. Like, otherwise... What do you mean?
This is snake handling.
Snake handling could mean one of two things. Literal, actual snake, or penis. There is no in-between. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I just live in the world with them. No, but, okay, so I think if I were to be more embracing of a spiritual lifestyle, it would have to be one where the expectation wasn't that I had to, in some way, exude my devotion publicly in a sing-songy way for all to see. Like, if we could find a church that literally does none of that, I would be okay. If we could just, like, have a discussion, like a round table, Socratic method type of conversation, I'd be down for that. But, I don't know.
Orthodox Judaism does that. I was surprised.
Yeah.
First time I ever went to an Orthodox Jewish. It was a bunch of rabbis standing around and arguing over the law because Torah's everything, right? So it's like, it's meaning and so on.
That seems more interesting to me. That seems like more engaging and less of a passive actor in that religion in that way, if I were. But
if you don't want to do the open sing-songy public worship, there's lots of options. If one were to engage in spiritual, like you said, if. Well, yeah, but I mean, that's not for everybody. I mean, that's the whole fucking point. And you can still be well within the realms of mainstream Christianity and find that.
Well, I'm not looking. I'm just saying that if I were to, at any point, that would be a condition for my devotion. It was like, do I have to sing songs? If not, then I'm on board.
It's funny. Marson Johnson says religion isn't logical. Really? I arrived at the existence of God through rational means. So much for that idea.
It all depends on which rational means you're coming from, I guess.
Aristotle's argument for an unmoved mover combined with Thomas Aquinas' 5 proofs for God's existence. Those ones. And both those gentlemen were expert logicians. Aristotle being like one of the guys who defined the rules of logic.
Anyway, so I don't want this to turn into a whole religious debate.
Well, someone just
I only bring it up,
and it's like I understand what you're saying, that some particular cultural expression of religious devotion
it makes me uncomfortable.
So like someone's claim or whatever, or something that someone said or did or whatever at some time isn't logical.
It's like
but the inherent idea of God is easily rationally derived. So come on.
My disdain for religious devotionalism through worship and music is mirrored a lot by those people that hate Christmas music out of season.
Gotcha.
The similar thought process, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, maybe. You're one who subscribes to Christopher Hitchens. That's cool. Yeah, some listen to John Calvin, some listen to Christopher Hitchens. Everyone has their own prophet, huh?
Anywho, Polly, what are you drinking tonight?
Just woke up, so I'm actually having an energy drink. We're trying to decarb.
Just a straight energy drink?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I got one of those mega bottles of fucking Maker's Mark for Christmas, and I've been steadily going at that for a while, which I was happy because I haven't had it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I heard that energy drinks can be unhealthy for you.
Snow Pilot, you're no one to be talking about annoying people, bro. Been near a mirror lately. Everywhere you go, man. Everywhere you go.
So energy drinks.
Yeah.
I heard that they could be unhealthy for you, but like there's a tier system for how unhealthy, and Monster is like all the way up here at the top or something.
In terms of well,
in terms of will get heart attack from
Oh.
indulging in thing.
there's that channel Chubby Emu, which is the oddest named YouTube channel, where the host of the channel is a toxicologist, and the whole thing is person did stupid thing and they ended up at the emergency room. Person drank 20 energy drinks. Person ate a whole bunch of vitamin gummies, like 2 bottles worth of vitamin gummies, and how they ended up somewhere else, where they ended up,
They ended up
destroying their
somewhere else?
liver. They ended up like going off into another realm. The person who because they literally
they phased from existence.
they destroyed their liver, and then because
Yeah.
of toxic blood or whatever the fuck. So
They
he
passed
does.
on.
Yeah. Ended up on the floor until somebody brought them into the emergency room. The majority of the time, it's what is funny about it is that they are knocked unconscious, so they can't explain what they've done. If you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's up to the emergency room people to
Let's smell their breath, see what they ingested last.
blood tests and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Chubby Weebo originally focused on getting fit, and that was the original purpose of the channel. Oh,
Really?
well, that explains it, Marson John. Thank you. Now that actually, I thought he just picked bizarro name, because now it's like the title of everything is person did X, and this is what happened to their brain, or person did Y, and this is what happened to their liver. It's actually really interesting because he's a full-on toxicologist, so he's able to explain it in all this interesting way. Anyway, yeah, energy drinks will kill you. I don't know which one is the most dangerous. Is Monster really up there? Is that the thing? Have you heard that?
Well, I've heard, I know that kids my age and throughout high school, so like from high school onwards into college and probably even after college, Monster was the shit. And I heard a lot of stories from people in my generation about how Monster and other various energy drinks, but specifically Monster, because that was the main one, had some adverse reactions. And I'm pretty sure I did read an article at one point of a woman or a kid, I don't remember exactly the details, but a kid who had actually passed away due to overingestion of the Monster, and as a result, like, they had a heart attack and died from it. I'm not 100% sure exactly how that went down, but those are the, like, foggy details that I recall from this. But yeah, Monster, from what I remember, not the greatest energy drink. To be fair, most energy drinks are probably not super great for you anyway, because, well, you shouldn't. El Boyfriendo has a story, actually, where he filled up an entire 32-ounce, like, Thornton's Gulp with 5-hour energies, chugged it, and had a heart attack while we were in high school. So he's not allowed to drink energy drinks anymore either.
Okay, you guys are scaring me, man.
Yeah.
I can say I overindulge in energy drinks, and by that I mean I have 1 or 2 a day.
I mean,
Because I'm
that's
into my
not
caffeine.
gonna kill you, but it's probably not great for you either.
This is what I'm thinking. It's like, yeah.
You probably wean yourself off.
Ooh, Chubby Emu. Thank you for the $1. Polydub drank expensive. Here's how it ended up on the floor. Oh, you asshole. So, Weebo, one time is happened. Well, I can't say that. I've thrown up expensive liquor at other times. I just didn't tell the story. One time I threw up some Port Ellen, which is a, expensive kind of scotch from a distillery that doesn't exist anymore. So it's like a bottle from, of a barrel from when it was distilling still.
Yeah.
And it was the 4th of July. I overdid it. I wasn't the only one who threw up that night. It's not my fault. It's just, Sinatra was particularly aghast when he looked up how much a bottle of single barrel Port Ellen's going for. And Zombie Teddy asked, what does Orphan barrel mean? I was gifted a bottle of Copper Tongue 15-year Orphan barrel. And I was like, I don't know. I had to look that up myself. Apparently it's a distilling company. And they call it Orphan Barrel Distilling Company, hand-bottled Tennessee bourbon. Every Orphan barrel is meticulously bottled with pride to ensure that the rare whiskeys are treated with cares that they deserve. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it because it looks delicious. It's Tennessee bourbon.
Orphan Barrel Whiskey Distilling Co.
Yeah.
You know what I love is that every
And you
time...
got a 15-year gifted to you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck enjoy that shit. I've never tried it, never heard of it, but really want to.
You know what I love about going to alcohol websites is that they ask you for your date of birth, but they don't ask you
Yeah.
for, like, any verification. They're like, just put whatever in. It's fine. I like the bottles.
Yeah, absolutely. How old-timey are those, huh? Square like that, too?
I
Love
appreciate
it.
it. And then they actually have the genuine cork, too.
Yep.
That's a good time.
Nothing like a push cork.
Mm. And then when you take it off, it has that sound, and it's just so satisfying. Woo! Give me chills! I wish I liked whiskey more, because then I could justify buying a whole bunch of that shit. But it's not my favorite alcohol, unfortunately. I'd
Bourbon,
have
really?
to mix it with something else if I were to drink it, which
Yeah.
you'd probably view as a crime against humanity for something super expensive.
Well, yeah, don't mix expensive, though. Just, you're lucky if you're mixing it down, and you can just mix regular run-of-the-mill.
Mm-hmm.
And you got, like, orange dreamsicles and whatnots.
I'm a basic white bitch when it comes to my alcohol, alright? If I can taste the alcohol, it is not something... it's probably not going to be my main.
I remember
I'm a
Far
cocktail
posted
bitch.
some... Far posted some meme where this tiny little girl, the anime character, was ordering a Tutti Frutti Yum Yum drink when everyone else around her was drinking bourbon. And it's like, because I want it to taste good. And that has been the name for those drinks from that point on.
Tutti Frutti Yum Yum.
Yeah, Tutti Frutti Yum Yum. and it's... And she said, unabashedly, if there was a drink called the Tutti Frutti Yum Yum, I would order it in a bar. I wouldn't care.
Alright, I will write that down. I will create a cocktail called the Tutti. Is it T-O-O-T-I?
Actually, it was Tutti. If
Okay.
I remember correctly.
T-U-T-T-I. Fruity.
And Fruity had an I.
At the end?
Yeah.
Fruity.
Yum Yum. With a hyphen.
Yum. Because I'm working on a cocktail recipe book right now, actually, Polly. It's got some cocktails in there that I have to put in there at this juncture. And, like, it's gonna be great.
Ooh, it's leather bound.
It is leather bound, and it's got
Nice.
the pocket protectors. I haven't put anything in there yet because I literally just got it a couple days ago. But I have some cocktails that I'm gonna make at a certain point in time. It's gonna be good. And you know what I think? Once I fill up this book, I'll come out with a cocktail recipe book on Amazon and sell it to people. Capitalize on my ingeniousness.
Oh. I thought you said you were going to make it like a tier gift for Patreon.
I could do that too. There are many things that I could do.
Yeah. People want your cocktail list.
And it wouldn't just be the cocktail list. It'd be like little snippets and stories, and
No.
it'd be more than just recipes.
Daniel Pullman asked, Polly, do you have one of those huge brandy snifters? No, sadly, I do not. I have a brandy snifter. Definitely have two. But they're like regular palm-sized, if you know what I mean, where you can cup your hand around the bottom. But I don't have one of those giant ones, but I'd like one. It's more evil genius, Bond villainy than the regular-sized ones.
We just got more materials for our bar, essentially, because our boyfriendo brought some stuff back from his parents' house that he still had over there. And in it, there were glasses much like these, but Coors branded, because that's his favorite beer.
Right.
And then shot glasses, and then whiskey stones, and I think also frozen mold shot glasses. So basically, they're
Okay,
shot
cool.
glasses. They're an ice mold in the shape of a shot glass. So that's gonna be fun.
I can't wait to see what you put in the Tutti Frutti Yum Yum.
I don't know, but it's going in the cocktail
Got a double
book.
clap. I'm curious. I want to try it. I'll drink. Excuse me, cocktails right along with you, definitely. Like, but I don't know if it's just an accident, like, where the people like don't mix wine and beer, don't mix hard liquor and uh, wine, don't mix like that's what's going to give you a hangover or whatever. I don't know if it's true or if it's just that the nights that you end up mixing a whole bunch of different liquors are the nights you just end up drinking a fuck of a lot, so therefore you get sick, if you know what I mean.
I
A
think
lot of
it's
people
a
say blame the
combination.
yeah, blame the sugar. People are like, if you drink a lot of sugary cocktails, that's what's going to give you a hangover. I don't know. All I can tell you is this: it seems like a good idea that if I'm drinking cocktails, to stick with that the whole night. So it's like, yeah, if you want to drink daiquiris and frozen margaritas and tutti frutti yum yums the whole night, yeah, fuck it, I'll drink them. It's not like they taste bad. But,
Mm, it's not. It's not so much that you mix different alcohols, like straight alcohols. I think it's that you mix different types of alcohol. So if you're mixing straight alcohol with wine or straight alcohol with beer, then you're gonna have a bad time because they do have different ways of interacting with your digestive system. Like beer is bubbly, like really, really bubbly. If you have a lot of it, it fills you up really quickly. It's yeasty is another thing too. And it'll probably interact a little bit more awkwardly with your digestive system than, say, a cocktail mixed with vodka. Like something with a mixer in it that is not beery. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know these things. I'm a computer scientist. I'm not like digestive scientist. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Speaking of bubbly, do you like champagne, cava, prosecco? Do you like the sparkling wines?
Mm-hmm.
Do you? Cool.
I indulge in the odd breakfast mimosa as much as the next white bitch.
Nice.
It's a staple of family reunions, actually. Whenever we're tailgating, someone brings out the prosecco and orange juice, and we have breakfast mimosas in plastic little champagne flutes. Classy and trashy.
Yeah. What about Bloody Marys? You down for that at all?
Yes.
Really?
And I am on a journey to discover who has the best Bloody Mary. It is a process that I've undertaken. I've been doing this for 2 years. I have a ranking system, okay? It's mix, spice content, skewer, and alcohol content. Those are the 4 criteria that I grade a Bloody Mary on. The skewer is very important, alright? If the skewer is lacking in any such way, we're going to have a problem. One of the top ones, I don't want to say exactly where it is because that would kind of dox me a little bit. But rest assured, their skewer is top notch. Their mix is homemade.
Well, how could a skewer be bad? Like, as an example?
If the skewer is exclusively just a celery stick, it's bad.
Oh. Okay.
But if the skewer has, so for instance, this skewer has a piece of shrimp, a piece of cheese, like one of those sausage links, like a pickled mushroom, an olive, and a pickle on it, which is like a tier 5 skewer, probably. Like, I'm mouth-watering right now just thinking about this skewer for this Bloody Mary. I kind of want one because it's really good. But then the mix itself would also have to be custom. It can't be out of a bottle, like something that is pre-mixed. You have to make the mix in-house. If you don't, we're going to have a problem. The second best Bloody Mary I've ever had was actually at Buffalo Wild Wings, and they do a really nice skewer. It's not fantastic, but it's decent enough. But what they also do in addition to that is they dry rub, if you get the really hot one, they dry rub their spiciest wing rub around the rim of the glass. They have a, I think, in-house mix, and then they add to it their spiciest wing sauce. So you are getting like a 5-pepper alarm Bloody Mary. And I like my Bloody Marys extremely spicy, so it's important to me. But yeah, So long as the mix is made in-house and not coming out of a bottle, I will drink it. But if it's store-bought, none of that nonsense. Because I've had all the store-boughts. They do not impress me. But I'm on the journey, not just to find one, but to create the best Bloody Mary mix that I've ever had. So that is an endeavor that I have undertaken. I have the tomato juice in my pantry right now, sitting there waiting for me to indulge. I'm excited.
I remember like a very spicy flashback to a Bond movie, Never Say Never Again. Kim Basinger was the Bond girl in that film. And Sean Connery walks up to her. She's at the bar, and he walks up and he goes, "Oh, let me get you a drink, hard or soft?" And she goes, "Soft." And she turns to the bartender and says, "I want a double Bloody Mary, extra Worcestershire sauce, and extra Tabasco." A double Bloody Mary, extra Worcestershire sauce, extra Tabasco. And Bond kind of like looks down at the bar with big eyes and says, "I hate to think what she means by hard." Yow! I can't. Friends of mine are really big into the Bloody Marias. So Bloody Mary, except with tequila.
Really?
Yeah.
Typically they're made with vodka, but that is interesting. Why tequila?
I don't know. It's just tequila. It's
It's Mexican.
Oh, it's coming from certain
things.
regions of Mexico. Spanish. Now it's Maria instead of Mary. Bloody Maria. Why? I don't know. People are into their high-end tequilas around here for some reason.
I get that. I've had
I can't do
one
Bloody
high.
Marys, and it's not about anything in it except for the tomato juice. I just don't like tomato juice. That's the problem.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't think I liked it either, and then I had a Bloody Mary that was super spicy, and I'm like, yeah, I can deal with this. I like it. But it has to, like, burn my tongue off in order for me to enjoy it properly. Otherwise, it's not for me. Maybe that's what you're lacking, is that the Bloody Mary is never spicy enough.
Spice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need spice. It's a variety of life
'Cause
and all that jazz.
I do love my Tabasco and Worcestershire higher.
Exactly. So just pack it in. See what's up.
Oh, there's 6.
Hi, 6. I got your coffee. Thank you very much. I think a boyfriendo wants to move this up in the line in the pecking order in terms of caffeine that we intake. He's a big fan of French vanilla. I think that's why you bought this, because you asked me specifically. Because, yeah, we share coffee. Speaking of coffee, what do you put in your coffee alcohol-wise, if you do? Or if you were to put alcohol in your coffee?
Bourbon.
Bourbon?
Or, well, Irish cream if it's available, but generally it's not. Just because I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bottle of Irish whiskey, and I understood why people Irish up their coffee. That makes sense. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, whiskey, I guess, would be the answer, if anything.
If you put Kahlua in your coffee,
Ooh,
does
what's
that
that like?
seem redundant, do you think? Because Kahlua is coffee-flavored alcohol?
Sure, yeah. I'm just thinking, like, wouldn't it just end up tasting sweet?
I don't know. Maybe?
I've never thought of that. It doesn't seem like a problem. It's definitely something I'd try.
Coffee-flavored coffee.
Yeah, why not?
What about rum chata? I know that's like a super white girl alcohol, but
No, I've never done it in my coffee.
it is creamy, so might work. I know I put peppermint schnapps in my coffee during Christmas time.
Wait a fucking minute. That's brilliant.
I know, right?
I've never done that.
Chocolate
That's
vodka?
fucking sharp. Yeah, hold on. I gotta get myself a bottle of peppermint schnapps. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
peppermint schnapps, you can, like, it's not just coffee you can put it in, you can also put it in hot cocoa.
Yeah. I love them in hot chocolate. So, like, that's, yeah. There's
what
my
else?
Christmas cocoa concoction, which is just, like, a very high-calorie chocolate coffee.
Yeah.
And it's like my Christmas drink. That's why I call it my Christmas cocoa concoction. And yeah, it's got bourbon and mint. But I never thought of using peppermint schnapps. I can extra up the alcohol.
I
This
get
is
extra.
fantastic.
Ooh, I like to, during Christmas season, put eggnog in my coffee with
So do I.
gingerbread Captain Morgan spiced rum.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because usually what I'm ending up doing is putting in nutmeg and cinnamon in when I mix in the eggnog into the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But you're already getting there if you're using the gingerbread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What else? What else? Butterscotch liqueur. I put that in coffee before for people. There's like one other one that I can't think of right now. And now it's gonna bother me. Polly, you still there?
I am.
Did you disconnect?
Nope.
Oh. You're just being
The
quiet.
screen's been pixelated for me, but as I understand it, that's a Discord thing.
Yeah. I'm
I mean, you're not. Well, it's not your fault.
I can't do it. 70,
It happens
720p,
when I'm sure. Yeah.
30 frames per second. Oof.
Exactly. When I'm sharing the screen for AAA and Noir Bar, and people are telling me that, like, yeah, it's all pixelated, and it's pixelated for me, for you sharing it with me. I don't understand this.
I'm probably gonna get Nitro for my Discord at some point. I could write it off my taxes, which is really nice, so... so I was doing my taxes. Or not exactly doing them, but prepping to do my taxes, because I go and see an accountant, the family accountant, every year to do the taxes, so I get the most bang for my buck. And I was assessing the expenditures versus the profit for this channel, and I'm actually in the red. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everything that you donate to me goes right back into the channel, and then some, just so you know. Fun fact. But yeah, that's how you get to write off your entire hobby on your taxes. Is you make it into a profitable, not so profitable business, and spend the profits on things for the business.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the business bigger and better. Yeah, just spend your entire profit on banking it, so...
I mean, if you have that luxury, if this isn't your job,
Right.
like it's not my job, then by all means go ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, like, that's just things for, like, I can write off part of my rent, part of my electricity, and part of my internet bill. On this specifically, I can write off equipment for this, like, the full price of the equipment, because I, like, for instance, the Stream Deck, I could write the entire amount of the Stream Deck off on my taxes, which was really nice. It's really good. But mostly I do that just to keep within a reasonable tax bracket, because I don't want to be in the 22% tax bracket.
Wow, I actually understood what you said there.
Well, because I don't.
No, I hear you. Tax bracket jumping. Thus, it's like, I got a raise. Now I'm earning less. Fuck.
Exactly. And it's going to get harder next year, because I do anticipate getting a raise next year. Or this year, I guess, technically. It's this year now, because it's 2022. I'm not used to that. So it'll be even harder to deal with that.
God damn it.
I know there are limitations. That's why I take everything to an accountant, so he can tell me where I need to calm the fuck down. But I just give him an itemized list of expenditures and be like, do with this what you will. I don't write off everything. I just write off things that I use in the business. It's not like I'm pulling an Onision, okay? And I'm writing off the price of my engagement ring because it showed up in a video one time. I don't do that.
The entirety of your house. Try and write off every single mortgage payment plus the interest the bank asked. Yes, you don't do that.
Yeah, no, so for rent, internet, and electricity, it's 17% of the total amount that I put forward. Not 100%. 17% because that covers this room. Which is like a neat little trick when you're an independent business owner. Imagine if you're doing business in California. Fuck that! There's a reason they're migrating.
Yeah, so they can move to other states and raise their tax rates. That is a sincere fear of mine.
Moving to California.
People in New York and California moving to other places and then voting Democrat because we're not voting for the evil Republicans who will subsequently raise taxes for a bunch of their social programs, et cetera,
Well,
and
is
turning the place you moved to be exactly like the place you just moved from.
Is that why they're not moving because they're conscientiously trying to subvert the political ecosystem of that region? They're moving because they created a political ecosystem that they no longer want to deal with and move to a place where that's no longer the case, and then they're like, oh, it wasn't true, this political ecosystem. We can start over somewhere else.
But I agree.
Okay.
Your voting habits led to the place that you were at over a long enough time period. And I think a best example of that would be like Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
It's like Texas is no personal income tax, etc. Except when you go to Austin, which is where a lot of Californiaites move. It's well known to be a quite liberal city, one of the more liberal places. And look at all of this local city ordinances and rules and whatnot, because they voted in a bunch of, Democrats and. Shit, it scared the hell out of me. My phone just went off and I forgot I had.
I forgot you had a phone.
Vibe turned. I forgot I had a phone. What is that?
What is this weird piece of
What is that black
technology?
rectangle over there vibrating? It's terrible.
Oh God, no! Get rid of it. Make it stop.
I thought I had it on. I forgot I had it on vibrate. It scared the shit out of me. Yeah. So anyway, they are turning Austin to be more like a micro California from whence they came, and it's look at your homelessness rate.
Yeah.
Look at how the city council has voted down the ability to do anything about homeless people and anything. Yeah.
Mm. Well, you know,
Right.
you know what you do when government refuses to, take initiative. You force them to take initiative. So what I really love is that story of that guy who's sick and tired of all these potholes or whatever in his town. So he goes around to every single pothole within the city and he draws penises on them with spray paint, so that the city has to come out and fix the potholes to get rid of the penises because they're obscene. So, because they won't do anything to the potholes themselves because they're inconvenient and bad for all of the people who have to drive on them. No. But penises on the potholes? No, we cannot have that. That's grotesque and obscene. We need to fix that. Otherwise, the white suburban moms of the world will riot, and then we'll truly have an issue on our hands. Because no one mobilizes quite like white suburban moms. Have you ever been to a PTA meeting? You're better than penises?
Well, yeah. No, I said, well, thank you, C. Thomas, for the dollar. I appreciate it. Most libtard progressive fuckwits can't fathom that they are the problem and that their hard R progressive policies that they vote for in I can't read. They vote for in why everywhere they go turns into a degen shithole. Yeah, no, I agree. You're voting for people that are making the place that you live going to be like the place you just tried to escape from.
If I were to move to a less democratic aspect of America, where would probably be the best place, do you think? I'm not saying I will, but theoretically, hypothetically speaking.
If you want to move to a less democratic place in America?
Yeah, somewhere where my taxes are not going to kill me.
What are taxes?
What?
Texas.
Texas? Just not Austin?
Just, there you go. Texas, just not Austin.
Okay. Maybe. I don't know.
Nice
My boyfriend doesn't like warm weather, so...
Really?
He really doesn't. He's a polar bear. So he's like, if we could live in Alaska, that would be nice. And I'm like, it's
Really?
so far away. And it's so expensive, too.
Oh my
The
god.
cost of living up there is atrocious. I've been once before in the summer. It's still cold. And he's like, yes, perfect. Thanks, I hate it.
Your options are apparently Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming have no state income tax.
I like the
And
sound of
New
Wyoming.
Hampshire does not tax earned wages. I'm assuming that means they do tax what? Capital gains?
Yeah. That makes sense, I guess.
States with no income tax often make up for their lost revenue with other taxes or reduced services. If you're talking about reduced services for illegal immigrants, yeah.
Reduced services. So, like... Wait, reduced services. So what does like Illinois do that Wyoming doesn't? I bet they don't have as many potholes in Wyoming as they do in Illinois.
Yeah, but they don't have as many streets to take care of either.
Yeah, but here's the thing, all right? It takes about a year to actually complete any road work in this state at all. Minimum. It's minimum.
Yeah, but think about the
Probably
cities
more.
that are there. You know, like Chicago. Like, I mean, think of all the state money that flows to Chicago, the epicenter of
don't
political
even.
corruption in America for over 150 years. I mean, Jesus.
Don't even get me started, all right? Buying alcohol in Cook County is not worth it. Not worth the gas that you save by not going out of Cook County to buy alcohol. Gas prices in Cook County are insane. Let's see. The Chicago Police Department are ticket happy. Like, they will jump on the opportunity to give someone a parking violation ticket, even if it's like within 5 seconds, or like, say you're parked on the street and you have a 1-day pass for that zone.
Yeah.
They will check. They will come around and make sure that that is still a valid 1-day pass. Or they will circle back around, and the minute that it becomes invalid, because it's like slotted for a certain time. You input the time that you arrive, you stick to the window, you leave, you come back, you either leave the place or you stick another ticket on there. Or you stick another sticker on there. And they will come back around to make sure that there is a new sticker or that you have flown the nest. It's insane. And then there's zone parking too, right? So you have to re-up every year for the specific zone that you live in. And they only let people who live in those zones, who have like a... Freedom.
Why did I hear it that time?
Oh, you heard it that time?
Yeah.
Because I turned on monitor in and output. So that I could hear it.
It's what was that? That was you hadn't ticked the ticky box. That was the thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was the
There we
reason
go.
why, I guess. But you heard it that time then.
Thank you, next 6 minutes for the $1. Freedom. Polly, bro, move to San Antonio. We can totally hang out and destroy all the paper targets and our amazing pew pews. It'll fucking rock. Yeah, that's.
With our amazing pew-pews.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's another thing. Good gun laws in Texas. Don't discount Maine.
All the way up the fuck there?
Well, you said like climate was a big thing, right?
Well, yeah, for a boyfriend, no, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'd move to Florida tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd move to Florida. I don't have a problem with it. I'd get over it. It's heat and humidity don't bother me. I've dealt with it for some fucking time. The freedom of Florida or Maine, as opposed to the lack of freedom in California or New York. C. Thomas, thank you for the $1. As a Chicagoan, if I could purge, I would purge the ever-loving fuck out of this Democrat stranglehold, stronghold, shithole, and a full-on ban on Democrats from running for 55 years because fuck these fucks. Good luck. I mean, I hear you, if you could, but Jesus, stranglehold is the right word. Stronghold. Stronghold, use both. Same thing with New York. I mean, my God.
You know what I find wild? I mean, everyone knows this, because if you exist in the world, and you pay taxes in the world, and you have an income in the world, you are aware of the fact that every time money exchanges hands in some recorded fashion, government wants to take their cut. It is taxed. We all know this. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just so wild to me. Absolutely insane. Just the gravity of that process, that trickle-down effect.
No, well.
It
Governments
irks me.
will always... I hear you.
Completely.
Governments will always grow in size if you let them. They're like bacteria in a petri dish, unabated in the proper conditions. They'll just keep growing.
Yeah.
Given a supply of food, and that's money in the sense of a government. So yeah, you do. If you as a voter do not keep check on it as a collective group, no, a bureaucracy will just keep growing and growing and growing.
And that's not to say...
Federal government's a great example of that. I mean, I think there should be a federal government. I'm certainly not a states' rights absolutist. Otherwise, it's not a republic. It's a barely connected collection of states. I think there should be a federal government.
Whatever the hell
but, I mean,
Greece was back in the day.
right?
Collection
of city-states that barely saw each other. It's like, we're Greece when you go to war.
When we go to war and during the Olympics.
Yeah. And even when you went to war, it was a negotiation to cooperate, for fuck's sake.
Well, I mean, you heard the Battle of Marathon, right? Sparta showed up after the battle was already completed.
Right?
They're like,
Eventually.
we had a festival to attend, and then we were going to march all the way over here. By the time they arrived, it's all wrapped up. I think it was the Battle of Marathon. Yeah, no, I'm relatively certain it was the Battle of Marathon. Yeah, okay, sorry. I was just questioning myself. Such a fun experience.
Questioning yourself? Or going to Greece?
The Battle of Marathon.
Tell us, what was it like?
Well, it was a little bit bloody, as they be. Battles and such. Exhausting for this one guy. I don't remember his name, but he ran a whole 26 miles in one stint and then announced the war and keeled over. And we celebrate his death now. By people essentially mocking it, the cause of his death, or the cause of the exhaustion that caused his death. People mock it now by challenging themselves to a 26-mile trek from point A to point B. So, probably not great. History's so much fun, Polly. And the things that we commemorate about history and the way that we commemorate them is just so hilarious to me.
It was the... I don't know, what are the details? It's like 26 point whatever the fuck miles from X to Y. So that's a marathon because he did it in whatever amount of time. Isn't the amount of time impressive? I forget what it was, but wasn't that a big part of it? That he was able to do it in this short amount of time?
Yes, the time was impressive, but also the distance that he ran. And the reason that it's called Marathon isn't because he was named Marathon, it's because he was running either to or from Marathon. I can't remember if Marathon was the place he was running from or to. I think it was to. Now I'm questioning myself again. The Battle of Marathon took place in 490 BC. Here. I have this set up specifically for this. There we go. We can all read together.
Awesome.
Okay, so he was running from Marathon to Sparta. There we go. According to Herodotus, an Athenian runner named... I got this. I can pronounce it. All right, hang on.
I'm ready.
Pheidippides was sent to run from Athens to Sparta to ask for assistance before the battle. He ran a distance of over 225 kilometers, 140 miles, arriving in Sparta the day after he left. Then, following the battle, the Athenian army marched the 40 kilometers, 25 miles or so, back to Athens at a very high pace, considering the quantity of armor and the fatigue. The Athenian, not the... Yeah, the Athenian army, the fatigue of the battle, in order to head off the Persian force sailing around Cape Sunon. They arrived back in the late afternoon in time to see the Persian ships turn away from Athens, thus completing the Athenian victory. The myth has Pheidippides running from Marathon to Athens after the battle to announce the Greek victory with the word... Okay, hang on.
Huh?
Nenike kamen. I know that because you're supposed to pronounce Nike as Nike, not Nike, you ignorant fucks. Whereupon he promptly died of exhaustion. Oh, so it was a myth. It's not real. We don't know if it was real.
But he runs in. We won!
Exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I got that not 100% accurate, but who does really? I wasn't there. Yelled Nike and keeled over dead. Exactly. There we go. Oh my gosh. It's been a minute since I learned this story, so I apologize for my inaccuracies, but it has been a minute, so things got a little humble-jumbled. Usually, I'm more prepared for these things when I'm giving a history lesson.
The ancient
Usually
Greek
in the video.
city-states were long ago enough
Yeah.
that they can enter, like, Never Never Land in my imagination. So I picture they're all like a Frank Miller movie.
Really?
Like, 300 and 300 Rise of an Empire. Everything looked like that. All the men were ridiculously ripped. Everyone was constantly...
Gerard Butler's just shouting at everyone, "This is Sparta!"
Absolutely. And then there's super hot buff women like Queen Gorgo, played by Hetty.
Lena Headey.
Nina Hetty.
Indeed.
Walking around all the time looking super hot in their white robes. That's how I picture ancient Athens. Whenever anyone tells me a story, it's like
It's probably not 100% accurate, but it's probably
really
close
high
enough.
contrast, black and white, that kind of thing. You know,
It's probably really close. I can
Yeah.
see it. So we are at 1 hour and 49 minutes. Do you want to open it up to questions from the people, or...
Sure.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is your time to shine. That means if you have a question for myself or Polly, please do so. Ask it in the chat. We will do our very best to answer it. I make no promises, though, because we are chronically incapable of adhering to that. We'll make our best college try, though.
Fair enough. C. Thomas, thank you for the $1. Herodotus wasn't the most reliable historian, but he did tell the story of how the assassins got their start against the Templars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were into hashish.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Assassins hashish. Yeah, Herodotus, you're right. He wasn't the most reliable historian or whatever.
It do be like that, though. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't
he's
worry
just,
about
it's like, yeah, you get to hear about Atlantis through him. It's fine.
it. Are we sure that he was like... Okay, so what qualifies someone as a historian? How accurate they are, or that they're talking about the time from the perspective of someone who's living during that time? And hearing about these things from other people who lived during that time.
Yeah, exactly. Herodotus was the kind of guy who he did go around asking. So what about this and this and this? Because he's writing about things that he wasn't there for, and he's very clear about that.
Yeah.
I was told this. I was told that. So we love using. I don't know. Chronicler, I guess, would be.
He's a storyteller.
Yeah. So what? It's important that somebody bothered to write something down and it managed to survive. Is the way that I always heard it told. It's like, yeah, he's not the most reliable, like 100% historian with 2 sources for every piece of information. But then again, he's more reliable than our current news entertainers. So,
True.
you know.
And also, they didn't have historians back then, is the thing. Like, why are we assessing the validity on a 21st century basis of a person who lived not in the 21st century? Like, he wasn't a true historian. Okay, but they didn't exist back then, so it's not really his fault. He did his best.
It is totally fine and valid to judge people by different standards in time and cultures and places. It's fine. It makes perfect sense.
Indeed.
How else can you be like a moral busybody about everything?
Cannibalistic Wizard has asked, does Weebo know what a hamburger is, unlike Polly? Polly, what did you do?
There was one time we were playing a game. It was Drunkle's Day on AAA. And we were playing $25,000 Pyramid, basically. Or Lubega, as Drunkle calls it. And so, here's 5 words, and you can, the way that it works. You go into you can't say the word or anything inside the word, but you have to get the other person to say it. So the word itself was hamburger. And it didn't go well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I damn well know what a hamburger is, but I said burger, and the ham part of it just didn't click with me. And he's like, I don't know why he didn't say, like...
Pig.
Okay. Forget about what I just said. What is the... get me to say ham, and then what did you say before? Combine it, like that sort of thing. I've done that, and it's worked out, but I'm not the best at that game, I openly admit it. Either telling or receiving, whatever the fuck. So yeah, people still get a kick out of that.
Yes, I know what a hamburger is.
Polly doesn't know what a hamburger is. Because I kept guessing burger and cheeseburger. I don't know why a hamburger just didn't... I don't know. I didn't know that's what he was looking for.
So you had to, be specific about the words?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, burger isn't enough. If the word was hamburger, then you got to say the whole thing.
Okay, gotcha. Makes sense. Yes, I do know what a hamburger is.
I have had one, I think. Zed Hero, Polly, what SHOT Show impressed you the most? Never been to one. I'd like to go to one. Which one impressed me the most? Like stuff that I could only comment in terms of like things that were introduced at such and such a SHOT Show, if you know what I mean. I think when the biggest change that I've seen personally, and like that's just from my little perspective, is when Smith & Wesson introduced the Shield. It was like a single stack 9mm handgun for concealed carry, and it was like a revolution. Then everybody had to come up with a single stack 9. Like it was just and then the next day it comes around again where SIG introduces the P365, and it's like, how about a micro compact 9mm double stack? And so like, everybody has to come out with one. Like those are big fucking changes. The P365 is the best-selling handgun in America. Get yourself one, Weebo. You got tiny little girl hands, don't you?
Yes, but how dare you?
Well, that's a good thing. Guys like girls with tiny hands for obvious reasons.
Well, all
I
right
love how
then.
you held up your hands, and then all of a sudden this look of disgust washed over your face as she lowers her hands.
How dare you, sir? I use these hands for cooking.
I'm assuming you washed them beforehand.
Of course. Naturally.
Anyway, you were saying.
Would you... Okay, so I don't get the point of the cheese... Or of the hamburger itself. Like, back to the hamburger-cheeseburger conversation. I don't get why you wouldn't put cheese on this hunk of meat.
Oh, I hear you.
Like, why is that even an option?
Burger. Yeah, I hear you. I know it's a joke. It's like, oh, Americans put cheese on everything. They put bacon on everything. They whatever. And it's like, no, the cheese is a no-brainer to the point where it would be like eating salad with nothing on it. No, I mean, even if it's something as simple as oil and vinegar. Yeah, like just eating lettuce. What are you, a rabbit? Like it doesn't make sense that there should be something there. Even if it's simple as just like a dash of olive oil. You know, I don't get why you wouldn't put cheese on a burger. No idea.
Something a little bit more serious from Chicken in the Rain saying, just want to say I love Americans even more than I did before. Thousands of you are in Ottawa with us right now, and it's amazing. Love to hear your guys' opinion. I think it's great. As far as civil discourse goes, this is how it should be done. A disruption to society in such a way that is not destructive, but is rather constructive in that it causes a conversation that's not about the actual protest methods itself, rather about what the people are protesting. And the fact that it is so disruptive, that it does inhibit day-to-day life. I love it. Now, that's not to say that... No, that's not to say. The honking memes. I love those.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't. No one foresaw this as a problem to mandate an entire sect of the and I wrote about it on Twitter. I was like, to mandate an entire sect of the public get a vaccine when that portion of the population interacts with other people minimally. Like, they isolate 99% of the time. They are in their own little trucks, driving around, doing things by themselves. They don't need to be protected from a vaccine, like, or from the coof in that way. The same as, like, people who go in and are on the front lines. I could see making an argument for that. Not that I would justify it, but holy fuck, that was a step over the line for those people. And obviously so, because they're making it very well known. Everyone loves honkies. Yeah, I guess. I deeply appreciate what they're doing up there. And I would join myself if I didn't have obligations that kept me rooted to my current location. Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of being able to protest at a moment's whim.
You go drive and honk with them?
Sure. But yeah, no, I don't have the free time. Mama's got to pay the bills.
Fair enough.
But yeah, as far as protesting goes, this is the kind of civil discord I'm here for. Let's go. Your thoughts, Polly?
The part that's catching my attention the most, I have to say, well, no, it's the response to it from mainstream media. Mm-hmm. Like, if you see the one with, like, all the trucks and on the side of them is written fascist, the political cartoon, fascism rather.
How is that fascism?
It's like, how are they
literally
exactly?
How?
It's the response is mind blowing. A bunch of, and they're trying to make the supply chain issue, like, they've even tried to connect that to it. It's like, people are complaining about the supply chain issue. Here's the supply chain coming to a stop right now because a bunch of idiots who. Is that what's happening? I don't think that's what, like, the desperation from people that are very much in favor of mandates, etc. That is what is standing out to me the most. It's like, no, this is protest, like, in it, like, straight up. That's all it is.
In its purest form.
How is it fascism? That was such a reach.
It's not even a reach. It's like a complete manifestation from nothing. Like, this word does not apply in even the most liberal of contexts that you could come up with. Just up. What? Excuse me? That was also amusing to me, but not as amusing as seeing Mr. Medicare react on Twitter to all of the Reddit posting about this and the people losing their absolute minds about the honking. I can't get over that. Like, okay, so we just came out of the Summer of Love, right? When people were getting beaten in the streets and their businesses set on fire via Molotov cocktails. This is tame by compare, like, not even tame. This is nothing. nothing by comparison. If the worst thing that ever happened to you is people are honking in the streets and it's bugging you out, you are insanely you're in such a great place in your life. But they're like,
Yeah, things are going pretty good for you if that's your biggest problem.
I know, right? And then we have the Molotov cocktails of progress to compare this to, right? And
Right.
those weren't somehow fascist in any way. But the honkers of peace, the honkers of fascism, that's fascism. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Can't help you.
But yeah. I'm glad that this is happening, the way that it's happening. But the only thing that I can think of that would upset this or make it seem kind of bittersweet if it's retroactively framed in such a way that is similar to what happened on like January 6th. Because that to me
Right.
was a lot tamer than the Summer of Love itself as well. Like, much tamer, but that has been framed in such a way as it was a fascist insurrection.
Ugh. Yeah.
When it wasn't. It was a protest. Civil
Was-
discourse.
Speaking of freedom, C. Thomas, thank you for the $1. The fact that the Canadian government and mainstream media are desperately trying to paint this COVIDtarian nonsense as fascist means that these commie cocksuckers and their wet brain lackeys have no argument. Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but it's all done in talking points, isn't it? Short form talking points and like, well, we support diversity and inclusion because we're against racism and X-phobia. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, therefore, you've labeled your enemy as bad guy, and so that's good enough. I mean, what? Certainly, the truckers have been called racist at this point. It had to have happened multiple times, right?
Probably. I haven't seen it personally myself, but it would not surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. But we are 2 minutes from time. So I think, Holly, is there anything that you would like to shill before we close it out here this evening?
Let me see. Not particularly, just AAA Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Drunkle's channel tomorrow, mine Wednesday, Sinatra's Friday, as always. I have video ideas, but Weebo's got to, Jesus. 2 or 3 ideas I've pitched to her. She said, yeah, let's do that. And it's like, oh my God, it's never going to happen.
Holly?
Are you going to remind
Dare
me of
you.
something now? Yeah, I know. I'm going to get reminded of the Twilight thing again, aren't I?
Yeah, how is the Twilight thing coming? I was just about to bring that up. I'm like, I'm pretty sure. About a year and a half ago now, we sat down and watched all the Twilight movies.
All 5.
And I sent you those recordings.
I've got them, I think. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
You do. I sent
do.
them to you. So if you didn't grab them, then we're going to have some talks, because I still actually have them on my hard drive if you needed them. But how dare you, sir. Last minute, star.
Irie and Alex, thank you for the $1. Last minute penis.
Oh my god, they censored penis!
I
Do they always do that?
have never seen that because it's all blurry or pixelated. Did it censor penis?
It censored penis. I was like,
My God, Streamlabs.
interesting. Penis? Really?
Yeah. What happens if he was being clinical? What happens if this was like I don't know, medical stream or whatever the fuck, and the person was trying to like legitimately refer to something?
I don't know. It's an excellent question.
Well, from now on, nothing but euphemisms, guys.
Yep.
Last minute shaft.
Last minute shaft. Okay. So, that brings us to 9:01. We're at time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, thank you for coming out tonight and being with me and Polly. We deeply appreciate your attendance, as well as your patronage, as well as your likes, your comments, and your subscribbles. They all make a world of difference, because otherwise it would literally just be two idiots sitting in Discord talking to each other about what the fuck ever. So, thank you so much. We will be back here next week. Same time, same place, same otter, same face. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lizard people of all ages. I've been Weebo. He's been Polly. We have been Cocktail Hour. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.